And let's go. We're live. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Woohoo. It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Do a
Oh,
little
goodness.
celebrate. Hey, everybody. I'm Casey. That's Kara, whichever direction on your screen she is. And this episode number 66 of 5 Minute-ish Fri YAY is all about planning and plotting, getting ready for 2021. Can you believe that it's almost the end of the year already?
We were talking about it earlier, how it's been a roller coaster of emotions, finances, work, and then on top of which there's been some weeks and months that have gone so fast and some that feel like they are barely crawling. So I think we're all surprised that we've made it to the downhill slide.
Yep, absolutely. I was in a consult earlier this week, and the person that I was talking to, we were talking about like this year and just what a wild ride it's been overall. And I told her this funny tweet I saw on Twitter the other day, and it was like, what a year this week has been. And it was like, that sums up like 2020. Like, what a decade 2020.
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite was yesterday. I saw it was this woman with a 7 foot long sage, like 7 feet by like probably like a good 2 or 3 feet like diameter, like big sage bundle. And it was like, I still don't know if this is enough for 2020.
It's gonna work. Well, we are going to go into 2021 with all the optimism and enthusiasm in the world, and we're going to make sure that everyone we know that follows us has all the information that they need to succeed in their business. So we're going to start talking over the next several weeks about plotting and planning for a successful 2021, and we're going to hit every possible facet with that too. So we're going to kick it off this week, though, with some super nerdy mathy stuff. We're going to talk about budgets. So we want to help you figure out how much should you plan to spend, where can you spend that, and then like really how do you plan? We're going to talk a little bit about the uncertainty of things and some different methods you can use to plan for, you know, in a pandemic world, like what are we gonna do? What can we really solidly plan for? So if you're just tuning in, you're just tuning in just in time. So we have a few viewers now. So let's go ahead and get started talking about marketing budgets. This is always the least fun for most of our clients of all the marketing things to talk about and to figure out. But it's a really important part as we move forward to make sure that you know what's working for you, what's not, and where to allocate your hard-earned dollars to. Most of our clients, as you know, are those small businesses who, you know, every business like has a budget to stick to. I don't know any billionaires that have endless amounts of money to toss in whatever direction works. So we want to help you make data-driven decisions in terms of your budgeting. So we are going to talk today about a few different ways to figure out how to spend that money. Or how much, but let's start with how much to spend. It is always a big question mark in a lot of people's brains. Some clients come to us with like, I know exactly how much I can spend. However they come up with that is how they come up with that. We're going to give you some ideas if you're unsure of where to find those numbers. We're going to give you some ideas, and we even have equations for you. I told you we were going to get nerdy with it. So a couple of different things you can do to start to set your marketing budget is a lot of people, this is a very, very typical way, a very popular way to go about setting your marketing budget, and it's percentage of revenue. So it's kind of just saying like my revenue overall is this much, and I'm going
5% of it goes to my marketing budget.
exactly. So I do have, I mean, if you're going to go that route, which I have a better way for you than that, if you're interested in learning a better way, a more optimal way.
What we recommend.
Yes, one that we recommend. I mean, everything, like everything else we do and say around here, it's all on an individual basis. So whatever works for you run with it. But if you're going to do this percentage of revenue, so percentage of revenue is your budget is your total revenue times the percent that you have allocated towards marketing. And there are some kind of ranges that if you're going to do this that I have as recommendations for you. So if your business is 1 to 5 years old, or if you're just like in that growth mindset where you really want to grow and or rapidly grow, then your marketing budget should be anywhere up to 20% of your revenue. You should sink more money into it if you want to grow.
Yeah.
Right. If your business is 5+ years old, you can scale that back a little bit. So you can do like maybe up to like 10 to 15%. Or, a lot of people, it's kind of about 10% is about average.
And of course, that's going to range based off of how well your business is doing, what's coming in, and what your own goals are.
Yeah, it
if
all
you're grow, put more in your marketing budget. If
right.
you're good with where you're at and your stability,
yeah, you and you have more referral business and that kind of thing, then yeah, you can kick it back a little bit. It also can vary. I see a lot of people do this, that they vary it based on what kind of business they're in. Are they business to business or are they business to consumer? So business to consumer, you're going to want to up your percentage a little bit. Whereas business to business, you can probably get away with maybe like 6 to 8% of your revenue going towards marketing, whereas business to consumer, you're going to want like 9, 10 on upward, most likely. So that works. That works for a lot of people. There's really nothing wrong with that, except it doesn't account for a lot of different, all the different things that you're doing, right? So it's not a data-driven model with this one. It's not based off of the hard numbers that you've analyzed. It's just kind of like, I'm just gonna spend some money and see what happens. So on the flip side, we have the data-driven option over here. And that is actually, it's a bit more work, right? So it's looking at things on a monthly basis and determining your budget based off of how much it's going to cost you. And you can base that off of previous cost of, how much is it going to cost you? Everyone should know, whatever you're doing, whatever marketing you're doing, you've got to know this fancy little number here, your marketing goal acquisition cost. That is, how much does it cost you to get one conversion from that marketing method? So if you're talking social media marketing and you are outsourcing it fully, how many conversions are you getting? You've got to do your math and figure out what it costs you to get that one conversion. And you're going to take that and you're going to multiply it by whatever your goal is, and then add it to your marketing operations costs. And then you get that total budget, and you do that on a monthly basis. So your operations costs are things like your software, your hosting, your advertising. Are you attending workshops to learn new skills? Are you doing consultations with a marketing expert? Are you outsourcing it? Are you hiring someone in-house to do it? Those are all operational costs. So I'm going to see if we have any comments or questions so far. Nope, not yet. But one thing, so to point out here with your acquisition cost, sorry, I'm like nerding out so hard right now, and I'm probably putting everyone to sleep. Kara, Kara included.
I don't do math. It's not my strong suit.
I don't necessarily enjoy it, but I'm good at it. So.
That's good though. At least you're good at it. I kind of just like leave it to the people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what your bookkeeper, your accountant, I can help a little bit, but you need to take it to the experts for sure. But just as everything else goes around here, we're sharing this information so that you can go in to your bookkeeper, to your accountant, to your your whatever financial advisor, whoever's helping you determine everything, all where the money's going in your business, and you can have the conversation with them and know exactly what you want from them and how to get those numbers that you need to know in order to hire whoever or invest back into your business with your marketing. So one little point here, marketing goal acquisition cost. So as I said, that's how much it costs you for one conversion. And here's a little tip. There's a couple of different ways to go about finding that number. So the first one is a bit daunting. It's not my favorite by any means. But once again, if it works for you, it works for you. And that is to average each individual platform or like marketing method that you're using, and figure out what it is for each one. My preferred method is to do an overall time average. So it's a very simple number. It's so we'll just lump it all into one instead of breaking it down into, what a particular campaign did. Then we can just do all Facebook ads. If we're doing like all brand awareness objective ads, we can lump that all together and do an overall time average, or we can even just kind of do like all of our social media marketing all together. Do you hear the train?
Oh, that, and then right when the train went, there was an airplane that just went over.
It was funny in the BizConnect call this morning. Lynn Hightower from the Atlanta Wildflower Heritage Museum was on, and he was sitting out on the front porch. And if you guys aren't familiar, I see we have some people, someone in San Diego and someone in Kansas. So the Wildflower Museum is the oldest standing structure on the Virginia Beach ocean front. And it's right near a naval air station. So he was trying to talk, and it was like every time he opened his mouth, like the jets went over. So, and we're sitting here and we're like, well, we're probably gonna have a train here in a minute here at our office. So we all have some audio interruptions, but we just gotta roll with it. So we're talking about marketing goal acquisition cost and a couple of ways to find that number, that magical little number. But once you do, these are the numbers that you're going to need to know in order to move forward, in order to make a full marketing plan for 2021. You have to know these numbers, and you have to know how much it costs you to get one client or conversion or sale. You have to know how much it's going to cost you to get whatever content you need created. I think that going into 2021, so our last piece with this is to think about, how do you plan for something like this in a time of uncertainty? And it's the key here is just be flexible.
Yeah. I mean, whether you decide to write a concrete backup plan or have at least like an idea of a backup plan, have some kind of plan in place, and, maybe take a look at this past year and see how, you being innovative during this time, what worked, what didn't work, and kind of putting that plan into place.
Yep. One thing that we would highly recommend is that no matter what, in order to get the numbers that you need, and to prepare as you move forward in your budget, because there's a lot of pieces that go into this puzzle of a marketing budget. So it includes all the planning. It includes, what is your ROI expectation? What long-term investments are you going to make? What short-term? Do you have a seasonal kind of period with your business? Do you need to think about that? What's your goal overall? Are you trying to maintain your visibility, or are you trying to increase your share of voice? What are you trying to do in the first place? And what are your main priorities? So, one thing you can do, we're going to talk more about next week, is ranking your priorities and figuring out like what's the baseline bare minimum that you want to have going on with your marketing, no matter what's going on. And then you can add in like, okay, in an ideal situation, if we have a really good month, what are the extra things we can do, and what are the times of the year that we need to plan for, where we might need a little bit more, a little extra campaign if we have a big fundraiser, if we're nonprofit, if we're a retail store that has a very busy period right before the holidays. So looking at all of those contingencies is really important, but we're going to talk more about that next week and break some of this down a little bit more. And we're going to continue this talk over the next several weeks. We'll get into content planning, we'll get into tools and resources, we'll get all the fun stuff. And we'll talk about advertising over the holidays and that too. So we'll talk more in depth about marketing plans and what you need to know for that to go into your budget next week. So tune in. If you guys have questions, see there's still some people watching, so drop them in the comments. Let us know what you're interested in when it comes to just figuring this out and being strategic about it all. We're happy to help. I'm sorry, you can hear I'm leaning up against the little tray that markers set in.
Careful, that'll have little.
I know. I'm gonna break Laura's marker board if I'm not careful. Laura, are you watching? Yeah, so that's what's up. We're just trying to get everybody planning and plotting and thinking about the upcoming year. It's that time. It's important.
It is. It's October. I think a lot of people think like, oh, November, December, or even like end of December.
November and December are so swamped with holidays and all of that going on already that October is really a prime time to kind of get some of this knocked out.
I would say October is just as busy for me always as the rest of it, because I always, whatever I would fill up with on like family wise in November, December, I fill up with work wise. You gotta pre-plan, people. It's all about that pre-planning.
Yeah. Plan it all out. Get it done. Get it off. At least you can kind of flex and adjust wherever you need to. That's perfectly fine. Nothing's written in stone. Nope. And using this method over this one, actually, that gives you more flexibility so that you're able to kind of look at it on a monthly basis versus an overall basis and just doing like kind of a flat line. So this is a bit more work up front, but I promise you it's worth it in the end. And it'll help you really determine what's performing and be able to throw money sink more money into the things that are working for you, and ditch those things that just aren't performing and getting you those conversions.
Yeah.
Are y'all taking naps now? I need everyone who's watching, please comment so I know, or give us a reaction so I know you're not
live and well.
I know. Who knew it was gonna be a math class today? My mom would be proud. My mom was a math teacher for a long time, so I'm sure she'll watch later and have something nerdy to say. So thank you for watching, tuning in. Tune in next week for us to break down more of what goes into your marketing budget and where to pull those numbers from. So we'll catch you next week, friends.
Catch you on the flippy flop.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.